Hello, I am Pickled Onion Knight and welcome to this amazing crazy pickups video. Now, I know I haven't done a pickups video in it's probably about, it's since about the middle of April, basically. So what are we now? We are coming towards the end of June. So that's about 2 months worth of stuff. And that shouldn't normally be an awful lot of stuff, but this time around it is. So I'll give you a warning now. This is going to be a long pickups video, possibly. It represent. I've added up the figures because I keep track of everything I buy and how much I paid for it, and it is honestly the best part of £1,400. Now, the lion's share of that is hardware, so it's not an amazing amount of stuff, but. You know what I like to do with these pickups video? Usually there's the odd story or something, some hilarious event thrown into them. None of which are made up, by the way. You know, if I heard them, I might think they were, but they're not. So, yeah, these things possibly go on for a long time. So we'll see what happens. I might have to record this in 2 parts. So what the format's probably going to be is I'm going to go autobiographically in sort of that sort of order, because there's sort of clusters of things on different days at different times and different events surrounding those purchases. Not all of them are going to be great stories by any means, but they will at least be true. There's some stuff I do want to definitely throw in, and some stuff that reverts back to a video I uploaded a couple of weeks ago. So if you've been following my Twitter, and you already know probably what this is going to be about, but that'll come towards the end of the video, and the big stuff will definitely be at the end of the video. So that's something to look forward to. So, a good thing. The good thing about these pickups videos is that they're not something I suspect anyone will be watching in a couple of months. I mean, you're not going to come back and look at the pickups I got a couple of months ago because it's largely irrelevant by that point. But what it does give me in these things, because these things aren't really future-proofed videos. They're sort of relevant the day they go up and not really for any time after that. It does give me a chance to do some sort of channel housekeeping as well, just at the beginning. So if you're not interested in that, you can skip forward a couple of minutes while I just go into what's been going on. Now, obviously, I haven't done any of the console generation stuff in a long while, purely because I got a bit stuck on the Dreamcast one, because there's an awful lot of stuff to try and cram into it, and I think I possibly have mentioned this before. It is so difficult trying to cram that console into a reasonable sized video, and by reasonable sized I mean under an hour. I seriously am finding so much stuff about the Dreamcast, that some of which I didn't even know while doing the research for that one video, that I'm not certain whether I could cover it even on a basic level and keep it under an hour. So I'm actually still having difficulty writing it, because basically I work on the premise that an A4 page of rough notes equates to about 40 minutes. I can't get my rough notes any less than 2 pages. So it is making things a bit more difficult, and that's why that's basically on hold till I can find out, because I do want to do the Dreamcast first, because the Dreamcast basically kicked off Generation 6, and that I would love to do it justice as a video, and I'm going to have to find a way to do that. It does mean possibly that I will have to miss things out, which I really didn't want to do. But it does mean I probably will have to do that. So I eventually will get back to it. So don't worry, if you were watching those, there will be more when I can figure out a way to do justice to the consoles that I want to do. The other thing you may notice is I mentioned in I'm probably about 3 months ago now that I was supposed to be moving. I was finding a new premises to do these videos. I wouldn't have to do them here, sat at the table with these disgusting curtains. And as yet, I still have the new place, but it's taking its time getting things sorted. Some of that is really piss poor timing on my part, and some of it is well beyond my control. But it is happening. It will be happening eventually. Hopefully, it will be happening this side of Christmas. But I wouldn't say it's looking doubtful, but it's looking to be a lot more work than I originally thought, basically, and possibly quite a lot more money than I originally thought. So it will happen. It just isn't going to happen anytime soon. So expect the next few months of stuff coming out from my channel to still be filmed here, unless I can find somewhere nice to go and film, somewhere nice and quiet. I mean, there's some outside spaces near me, but they're very rarely quiet. I mean, I would love to do an outside video, but it's finding the right balance of niceness and quietness. Anywhere that tends to be quiet tends to be not very nice. So that is a thing. I want to do stuff in other places, but there's nowhere really that I've got access to that would lend itself to doing a video. There may be something coming up soon, because I want to start a new branch to the channel. There may be something coming up soon which won't be filmed here. I don't want to go into what it is in case I don't get permission to film, although I might just do it surreptitiously anyway and nobody will know, but we'll see. So that'll be a thing. I don't want to give anything away, really. And as for the PlayStation 3 reviews, they will still be coming as well. But I'll be honest with you, part of the reason I haven't done anything in a couple of weeks is because it's been so stonkingly hot here. I mean, it's been ridiculously hot, and where I am is particularly bad because there's no through air. Every room basically has windows on one side, and it's very difficult to get a through draft going, and it's just been unbearable to try and do anything. The only reason I'm filming this tonight is because it happens to be 18 degrees. I mean, look, you can see how hot it is from the my shortness of trouser. You know, I literally have one pair of cut-offs, and they have been on for the last 8 or 9 days. Yeah, there's been no other way to get anything done other than wearing white t-shirts and cut-off shorts. And even then, it's been reasonably uncomfortable. So that is another reason why a lot of stuff hasn't been happening. But rest assured, the PlayStation 3 reviews are still coming. So if you enjoyed them, then they will arrive. I did start doing a thing where I was just doing a walkthrough of Link to the Past. That is still coming as well. I just have to do the narration and get it edited and get it up. So yeah, that's about it for the housekeeping, I think. I can't think of anything else offhand. I probably should have written some notes, but there you go. So let's get into the pickups. Right, let's get into these first. Limited run games. Now, if you've seen my stuff before, you know that I am collecting the limited run games. I am only going for the PlayStation 4 set. I'm not going for the Vita set, for the simple reason that I don't have a Vita. Although I will explain why that's probably not important later on. So we have the usual sort of affair, indie games turned into boxes, and I will go through them, and then I will have probably a little moan about them. So I'll do my usual. I'll go through them and tell you what they are. And so there's Nova 111. This is from Limited Run, and this cost me $25.99. And you know, it's got the usual things, the stickers and the all the gubbins. There should be one of them little cards in here as well, but for some reason that's not in here. I don't know what I've done with that then. Then we've got Flint Hook, which is another indie game, and it's got the all the stickers and all the usual things. Mutant Mudds Deluxe and Mutant Mudds Super Challenge. These basically came out on the same day, so that's when I bought them, was on the same day, and they cost me $26.13 each. Not too bad for PlayStation 4 games, but you know, they are indie games. Risk of Rain. Now, where is this on the list? Because I think that was actually the month before that just turned up. If I look. Yeah, so Risk of Rain was actually before the middle of April that I bought this, I think. Oh, no, there it is. No, $32.13 that cost me. So that's one of the reasonably more expensive games from Limited Run. But the one I really, really want to talk about is this. Darius Burst Chronicle Saviors. Now, I know it's a Taito game, and I know even on the PlayStation 4... PlayStation Store rather, this is still a reasonably expensive game, but I mean the whole point of having physical release games is that they come with a proper, you know, they come with proper stuff, you know. Alright, you've got the game on a disc, fair enough, but I want a proper manual. This one doesn't even have that. It doesn't even have a manual. It has a little card that you can tick off your limited run stuff. Now, this is the standard version, and this was $53.99. This cost me to get it shipped from the US. I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was, in dollars, it was $59.99. So that's $60. So this is basically priced at a full price release. It doesn't have a manual. It basically has the usual limited run stuff. Of the postcard, the sticker, and the little reward points things, which I probably can't claim anyway, or probably it's not worth me claiming, rather, because anything I claim I would have to get shipped, obviously. And there's not even much of a write-up on the back, to be perfectly honest. Now, there was a $100 version of this game that came with 2 model ships in a box, and still the thing came with no manual. For a $100 special edition set of the game, it came with 2 plastic ships. For $100. And I'm sorry, I know, again, this is an expensive game, even on the PlayStation Store. I don't understand why. It's Darius. You know, it's not, you know, it's not Super Darius, it's just Darius. And to be fair, 1.7 gigabyte install seems like quite a lot for a shoot 'em up, but still not amazing. You know, it's not. I mean, a 1.7 gigabyte install. I doubt they've used even the entire Blu-ray for any of this. I don't know what it's for, but because it's a collectible, I suppose I've got to buy it now, otherwise I risk having to pay more money for it. But to be perfectly honest with you, I feel a little bit cheated by that release, especially when I know that Limited Run have done stuff at a similar price that's alright, they haven't released it yet. I'm talking about the Skullgirls Special Edition. No, that was priced at about 80 quid, but that comes with all loads of stuff, all extra content, and, you know, art books and all sorts of things like that. And it's just like, well, this is just the standard game. And that's quite a lot of money, I have to say. If anyone from Limited Run is watching this, by the way, don't do that again. Because this is expensive bullshit. I mean, there's a difference between being an indie game and being expensive bullshit. Because people can still just go and play it. I mean, there is no reason why this needs to be a similar price as this physical version is on the PlayStation Store. It's just bullshit, and don't pander to it. You know, people are trying to collect the game, so you say to Taito and Kadokawa Games Limited, no, piss off, get somebody else to make it for you. You know. But hey, there you go. While I'm talking about Limited Run, I did actually put, if you look at my, what was it? It was one of the E3 videos I did, I think the last one, the other stuff you may have missed. I did mention Limited Run in that, and they have got some good looking stuff coming out that's got some interesting concept games as well as the usual sort of indie affair, which I'm really looking forward to. The only way they could top it is for somehow Limited Run to get the license to do a physical version of Cuphead. Limited Run, if you do a physical version of Cuphead, you don't do 5,000 copies, do like 15,000, because you will still sell out of that. So there's a tip for you. But I did mention some of the stuff that was coming out, and I did mention the Skullgirls game in that video, so I'm not going to go through it all again. So if you want to see what's going on with your Skullgirls, go and watch that video instead. So the next thing I want to mention is some foreign games which I've bought, and I'm not... when I say foreign games, I mean region exclusive stuff. Well, actually 3 region exclusive things and a foreign game that shouldn't be. So these are all online purchases, so I haven't found these on my high street, unfortunately, although that would be magic if I did. But it just so happens I've got what I think is a deal on most of them. So first of all, we've got Kick-Ass 2. Now, as you'll know, this is a Spanish exclusive for the PlayStation 3, and as I'm collecting PlayStation 3 games, I had to have it. The other one, I can't remember the other one, it's called Bloodsport or Blood Bowl or something like that. Anyway, I couldn't get that on a deal, that's still going for silly money. But I got this one for £10.31, and that was delivered from Spain, remember? And also, as you can see, it's sealed with the official PlayStation 3 seal. So let's get that open straight away and see what we get for our £10.31. And I thought that was an amazing deal, bearing in mind it's come from Spain. It did mean I had to try and remember secondary school Spanish in order to use the website, but I did very well, I think. The only trouble is that for some reason I had some Amazon vouchers sitting there which you can't use on Spanish Amazon apparently. They're only valid for UK Amazon. But there you are, you've got Kick-Ass 2 in a PlayStation 3 Blu-ray case. So lovely, never been played disc. You also have a manual, which is in multi-language. Huh. So even though this is a Spanish exclusive game, yeah. I mean, there's not much to the manual. It's one of these, everything is very much briefly announced in all the language. But yeah, so the manual is in English. The game has a British language section, and in fact has all the licensing agreements. So why this never came out in Britain, I've no idea. But there you are, Kick-Ass 2 for the PlayStation 3, a Spanish exclusive, perhaps Italy as well, because usually they share exclusives. So while I was on, where was this one? This was one I got on eBay, and it cost me £30.56. But it is from all the way from Japan. It took a little while to get here, and it is, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation here, Okami Zaikiban HD. And this is basically the special edition version. Now the reason I got this is because I wanted to play it. I wanted to play it on the PlayStation 3. You know I'm not a fan of download games. And there was some question on the forum as to whether... See, there's a Hong Kong version of this game that everyone wants to buy because it has English subtitles in it. And that goes for silly money on PlayAsia and places like that, the Hong Kong version of this game. So just for a punt, I thought, do you know what? I'm going to buy the Japanese special edition version. So this is the one that comes with the soundtrack in here. Actually, I'm not going to open it because it is on the fragile side, this box. I don't know why. The cardboard isn't too thin, but it's thin enough that it keeps... It's not closing right when you try to. But Yeah, so this is the Japanese version. This is the best version. It says quite clearly there, the best. It cannot be argued with. It is move compatible, this one. And although it doesn't say it on the box, I can confirm that all the subtitles are in English, all the menus are in English, and even though it says for Japan only, all the menus are in English. The only thing is, I couldn't find a way to change the controls. So as with all Japanese games, the yes button is the circle, the no button is the X, which is the opposite of what would normally be the standard here. That's the only thing you've got to remember. So yeah, the whole thing is subtitled in English, so don't worry about that. Don't spend 60 quid buying the Hong Kong version when you can spend 30 quid buying the special edition Japanese one, and it will work just fine, and you can read what's going on. Another Spanish exclusive again this time, although it's not actually a Spanish exclusive. I've since found out that this game also came out in Italy and Germany, just not in Britain, and it looks shit, to be fair, but I thought I'd better get it because it'll be another one that I know if I don't get it, and I do want to play it at some point in the future, I won't be able to get it, because it'll be another one that will go on eBay for silly money. And I can't remember, there it is. I got this again on Spanish Amazon for £21.47, delivered, new and sealed, Love Me Buddies Wonderland. Now, this is obviously a Wii U game, but because it's from Badland Games as well, which is, up until recently, I thought was a British games producer. They're not. They're based in Spain. But there you are. So what we'll do is we will open that, because these ones, for some reason, don't have a pull tab on them. So we'll open that and see what we get for our money. So yeah, Spanish, Italian and German exclusive this. I've bought the one from Spain because that was the only one I could find at the time. So yeah, let's see. Oh, got a pin code for Club Nintendo, which I believe has finished. I don't think they do Club Nintendo anymore, so that's pretty redundant. Got a disc and got a little card thing. It's not even a manual, it is literally a card, look. So I don't know what any of this says, because it basically seems to be a guarantee card, but that's it. Literally the rest of the case is empty. You get the card, you get the redundant Club Nintendo points, although it may well still be going. As far as I'm aware, it's not, but you know, it may well still be going in Spain. I don't know. I don't think it is here, but maybe Spain have kept Club Nintendo. They seem to be bigger Nintendo fans than Britain for some reason. Nintendo stuff does well in Spain and Germany for some reason. Probably because Nintendo is quite a big employer in Germany. I don't know about Spain, but there you go. So that's Love Me Buddies on the Wii. It's probably shit, if I'm honest with you. But, you know, give it a go, because in a year's time you might not be able to. So here's one I want to talk about, and this is a funny one. The Nintendo eShop Selects. Now, there's two games in this particular collection that were released in Britain. One of which is a game that I showed off in the last Pickups video. It's the SteamWorld collection. So it's got SteamWorld Dig and SteamWorld... Oh, excuse me, whatever the other one is. And there's another one called Fast Racing Neo. The trouble with the game Fast Racing Neo is it goes for 20 to 25 quid used. Not even new, used, in Britain. So I could walk down to my local high street and find that game. Unfortunately, I don't want to pay 25 quid for a game that's effectively a disc version of a download title. Certainly not used price anyway. I think originally the new price was only 30 quid. So that is a bit silly. But as luck would have it, and this is going to be an odd story. I found it for sale on eBay from Australia. Yep, the Australia that's the other side of the world. And I bought it brand new, and shipped here for £12.71. So half the price of what I would pay. So basically, I've got the new version of the game, and Australians have PAL games as well, so it should work on my Wii U. I haven't actually tried it yet because I'm going to open it here now. And they're PAL games as well, so Australia, New Zealand games should work on a European Wii U. Yeah, new for half the price that I would pay for it second-hand here, and bearing in mind that includes the shipping cost. Alright, it took 4 weeks to get here, but still, there you are. And luckily, the person who was selling it was wise enough to put gift on the envelope, so I didn't have to pay like a 20 quid customs stamp, because that's a pain in the arse. So yeah, let's open it. And by the way, all the games you will buy in Australia and New Zealand are resealed. That's how they do them. They turn up, and in fact, look, if you look, it was made in the same place in Germany that makes all the Nintendo games. So it was made in Germany, like all Nintendo Wii games. It was made in Germany. It was sent to Australia. It was in a shop. It's been sent back to me for less money than I could buy a used copy on the high street. But I'll just say for reference that all Australian games have this homemade shrink wrapping effect to them. Anytime you buy anything new in a shop from Australia, for some reason, their customs people like to open up the shrink wrapping on everything just to check there's no... they're probably looking for drugs and things like that, but, you know, it tends to be seeds and flowers that they're more scared of. They're probably checking everything for pollen, just in case. So, yeah, that's why all Australian games have this homemade shrink wrapping. Somebody hasn't done that at home. That's done officially for official reasons. So don't worry about that. If you buy a game from Australia advertised as new and it doesn't have the fancy pull tab on it, none of them do. That's just not how they roll. So what do you get inside? Well, you get a really flimsy case, actually. You get Fast Racing Neo, the game disc. Wow, Australian stuff is really flimsy. In fact, I don't think I've bought any Australian games in a very long while. But there's somewhere else I bought games from. It might be Oz, it might be New Zealand, where all the cases are really flimsy. That must just be a thing. Maybe it's the heat. Maybe the heat makes them all flimsy. So yeah, you basically get the disc and you get a warranty, and that's it. But all things being right, this should work well. This should work on a European Wii U. If not, I will simply resell it, probably to an Australian. So yeah, that was... What did I say that was? Fast Racing Neo. Because nothing's ever in order here. No, completely lost it. There it is, £12.71. So yeah, that's that. Right, so on to the section of charity shop stuff, which is generally the cheapest stuff I've bought, and usually in the poorest condition, but not this time. Stuff is actually in pretty good nick. So the first two things I bought, this was one day when I went round every shop in the town. They didn't have very much at all, and all I found basically was a official Wii steering wheel and an official, I think it's the official one, nunchuck controller. So I needed a nunchuck controller and I needed another steering wheel, so I was quite happy to get them, and that was £2. So, you know, can't fuss about £2. Right, now, I'm going to tell you a little story, and what basically happened is, me and the missus were deciding to go for somewhere for a day out, so I decided I wasn't... Every now and then you just pin in a map, don't you, and you go, right, we'll just go there and see what it's like. So, but this time it wasn't pinning a map. I specifically went to a town near me, and... I'm not going to do a full rant on this, but I am going to mention it. Town near me called Saffron Walden. which is in Essex, or it might just hit the tip of Cambridgeshire. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's in Essex. Anyway, there's two shops there that I like. I've been in the coin and stamp shop before, and I wanted to go back there, so fair enough, did that. There's also a game shop there, which I'd briefly been in years ago, but haven't been in a very long time. I'm not going to mention the name of this game shop, but pretty much everything in there was priced ridiculously. And when I say ridiculously, I mean literally stupid money for some things. The example that stands out is they had Mad World on the Wii, which, don't get me wrong, is a good game, but it's a 50p to £1.50 game, even at retail. Second hand, that is a 50p to £1.50 game. Have a guess, between you, just in your own head, how much they wanted for a used copy of Mad World on the Wii in this independent game shop. I bet none of you guessed £11.50. £11.50. So 10 times the price of what it is actually going for on the open market. That's what they want for it in the shop. And that is if you're a member as well. So that was including a member's discount. That is just one that stands out to me. Literally everything I looked at in there was eBay. Some of it was double eBay price. I mean, it was honestly ridiculous. And I just, I was literally having a rant in the street outside the shop to the other half. She wasn't having any of it. She wasn't interested. But yeah, I'm not going to mention the name of the shop because I don't want anything bad to happen to me because of it. But if you go there, if you ever find yourself in Saffron Walden, go in that shop and have a look and just go, fuck me, that is a lot of money they're asking for this old tut. But anyway, that's the first bit of the story. That's the rubbish bit of the story. The other bit of the story is there's quite a few charity shops there. So I wandered round them, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't find an awful lot. Purely because I suspect that the people who buy games in Saffron Walden are buying them in the charity shops. So the charity shops are pretty much tapped out because they can't use the local game shop. They can't afford it. Also, it's always a dead giveaway when you go into a game shop and they have Warhammer stuff there, Games Workshop stuff. And for those of you that don't know, Games Workshop is basically the death knell for any video game shop, purely because one or two things will happen. Either people won't go in there to buy their games anymore, because the whole place is taken over with people riddled with BO playing fucking tabletop games all day, so you can't get moving. Or the other thing will happen is they will just stop doing the video games because they realise that the Games Workshop stuff is really lucrative to idiots. So that's what will happen. So yeah, whenever you walk in your local game shop and you see like a Warhammer set sat there, realise that shop's days are numbered as being a game shop. They won't do games soon. So yeah, anyway, charity shops. So I went into where was it? I've written it down. Cancer Research Shop over in Saffron Walden, and I got Everybody's Golf World Tour on the PlayStation 3, and this is complete. The manual's in here, and it is in really good nick. In fact, looking at the disc, it looks like, apart from that little hair there, it looks like it's never been touched. So yeah, Everybody's Golf World Tour. Didn't have it, need it, got it. And Bioshock 2 I got in there as well. In fact, the receipt's in here. So yeah, that was £3.30 for the two of them. So £1.65 each. And yeah, again, manual, nice clean case, and nice clean disc. In fact, I don't know if the camera's picking that up. There's like maybe a microbe of a fingerprint on there, but that thing looks like it's... to be fair, though, it is very difficult to damage Blu-rays. I mean, PlayStation 2 stuff is scratched all the time. Blu-rays, PlayStation 3 stuff tends to be fine pretty much forever. It's difficult to scratch a Blu-ray. It really, well, more difficult than to scratch a DVD or CD, put it that way. And then I went into the Dogs Trust shop, and I found Red Dead Revolver on the PlayStation 2. There was another game I found where I can't remember what it was. I found there was a game box. I can't even remember what it was off the top of my head, but it had like a music CD in there, and the guy in there. I mean, the guy in there was like 70 years old. I basically handed him over this PlayStation 2 case and said, "Oh, there's like a top loader CD in there or whatever. The game's obviously not in here." And it wasn't like I was talking to the wall, but I may as well have done, because I don't think he really got what I was saying. So yeah. Can't remember what it was, but I couldn't buy it because no sign of the game disc. But anyway, Red Dead Revolver, and the disc is in here, and the disc looks pretty good, I have to say. And even the registration card, the Rockstar registration card, is in here behind the manual, which looks like it's never been opened. So somebody's obviously bought this game and just never even looked at it, which is amazing. And that was, excuse me, I didn't mention, that was £1 for that, which is nothing. You know, Red Dead Revolver, it's okay, but it's, in fact, it's better than okay. It's 9 out of 10 is what it says on the sticker there. You can't lie with stickers. That is by PlayStation 2 Official Magazine. So obviously their completely unbiased PlayStation 2 Official Magazine score of 9 out of 10 for a PlayStation 2 game, you know, they should know their stuff. They are the official magazine. They're telling you how good a game it is for £1. Right, what else? Charity shop pickups. Yes. This. A Nintendo Wii. Now, this is the GameCube compatible Wii. Little bit dust in there, I suppose. Basically, this was in the charity shop for £8, just sitting on the shelf like this, with a sticker on it saying accessories included, please ask at counter. So I went up to the counter and I said, what accessories are included with the Wii you've got over there? And the lady went, I said, the console you've got over there, what accessories are included? And it took a little while, but she finally got what I was doing and had a look through the drawers and found this bag of accessories that were supposed to go with this. It was advertised at £8, and I got to the bag of accessories, and the power brick was in there with the plug, the sensor bar was in there, and the not the AV cable, the AV cable, the standard AV cable that comes with it was in there as well. Unfortunately, no controllers, which is the bit I was actually hoping was going to be there, but there were no controllers. And I said, well, I'll be honest with you, the controllers are the main bit I was after, and if there's no controllers with it, I don't want to buy it. I said, because basically a new controller for it is going to cost me £12. If I want the 2 new controllers that it would have originally come with, that's going to be £24. Actually, it would be slightly more than that, because controllers I would actually be looking for are the Wii U Remote Plus, not Remote Plus, the Wiimote Plus version. You know, the one that doesn't need that stupid adapter on the bottom, the one that comes with the Remote Plus already installed in, you know, in the hardware, and they're actually about £20 each, so I was probably selling it myself short even then. But she said, well, as this bit's missing, because I basically said you can't play it without the Wii remote. So this, in the condition that you're selling it, is literally unplayable. I have to go and buy other accessories in order to use the console. And I know it's for charity, but I don't care. I wasn't going to spend £8 on it. And then she said, oh, well, we can let you have it for £5. And I thought, okay, fair enough. I'll take it for £5. But the only reason I decided to take it for £5, had this been the second edition of the Wii that didn't have all the GameCube compatible stuff, then I would have still said no. But because it's got the GameCube stuff, and I have actually got a couple of GameCube controllers, I can just use it like that. Now, I haven't tried to use it yet, so I don't know whether it even works. But for a £5, hell, I'll take a punt. No. The last 2 charity shop pickups, and I haven't done that many charity shops in the last couple of months, so I can't. I haven't got that much to show. But Dynasty Warriors 4, which I got in where? Scope. On the same day. This was £1, and again, instruction book that's barely been looked at, and a game that has probably never been played. So yeah, Dynasty Warriors 4 from Scope for £1, and Star Trek Voyager Elite Force, Codemasters game. Not many of them about, I'll be honest with you, although this is actually Activision pretending to be Codemasters, but not much stuff about these days with the Codemasters logo on it. And this is the little booklet of other Codemasters stuff. You can register the game for unlimited ammo and total invincibility. Well, that probably just ruins the game, doesn't it? So you'd have to be a proper cheater in order to do that. And in fact, I've got Action Replay Max, so I could probably do that anyway. So yeah, instruction book that's barely been opened again. And if I can get it out, the clicky bit is a bit dodgy on the case, but I don't understand why, because this looks like it's never been out of the bloody case. So there you go, and that was £1 as well. So well done, Scope, you did me proud there. Couple of new PlayStation 2 games to add to the collection that are pretty good. I am trying to be a bit more discerning with the PlayStation 2 stuff I buy as well, because I do have quite a lot of shit on the PlayStation 2 that I probably need to have a cull of at some point. So this is going to be a bit that's stuff from proper retail shops or resellers, and stuff that generally I've bought because I really, really wanted it, or I need it for a specific reason, or I just saw it and thought, oh, that's a good deal, I'll buy it, because there you go. Right, so where do I begin? Soul Calibur 4. I bought this in CEX, and it was £3.50. But the funny thing was, when I got it home, I realised there were 3 of them on the shelves, and basically I sort of cheated a little bit, because I looked in the cases and only one had an instruction manual in it. So I picked up that one, obviously, because sometimes they keep the instruction manuals behind the counter, but sometimes they don't. Obviously, what's happened is the case had an instruction manual in it, and they do keep the instruction manual behind the counter for this game. So what happened was I ended up with 2 instruction manuals. So I ended up picking the best one of the 2, keeping it, and taking the other one back the next day to the bemused sales assistant that hadn't served me the day before. But anyway, Soul Calibur 4. And the reason why I bought this is I had no intention of buying this, but it was £3.50. I thought, oh, I'll take a look. And the only reason I bought it is because I didn't realise you can actually play as Darth Vader in this game. So £3.50 to play as Darth Vader in a fighting game. I don't see how that could go wrong. I honestly don't. I don't see why that wasn't a more... Well, it obviously was quite a visible marketing thrust because he's there on the box, but I've never noticed that before. Anyway, now here's one I found, and that is called. This is called R. Tonliko Quoga Nell of RCL. I have no clue what this is. I've never heard of it. But when I saw NIS America written on it, I thought, well, if this is cheap, I better buy it because I've never seen it before, and I might never again. And I found this in Cash Concepts, and it was a tenner. But the instruction book's in here, the game is in here, and there is also a soundtrack CD in here. So it's complete. I've never seen it before. I don't really know what it is. It seems to be some sort of anime style, sort of songstress game. Probably similar along the lines of Hyperdimension Neptunia or something like that. It seems to be that sort of thing. Still haven't got around to playing it. Marvel Ultimate Alliance. No, I had to buy this because I'm trying to go through the early release PlayStation 3 games for the PlayStation 3 reviews. And in fact, the review for this is out already. So if you haven't seen that, you can go and look at it and see what I thought of it. Now, it is a bit of a cheat because I already have this on the PlayStation 2, but I had to review the PlayStation 3 version, so I had to buy it. I found it in-game. And it wasn't silly money, but it was about eBay price, I should say. But it was on a buy 3, get 1 free offer. So basically you buy 3 games and the cheapest one is free. So I went in and I found 2 other things that I wanted to buy and basically got this for nothing. So I paid nothing for this effectively, and the other things I bought were Rayman Legends on the Nintendo Wii, and that was $17.99, so reasonably expensive, but I like Rayman, and yeah, this one, although the disc's in pretty good shape, the manual is not. If you can, well, you can't even call it a manual. It's not a manual. It's just a what you do if. But I've just noticed that the Club Nintendo points are in here as well. So maybe Club Nintendo is still going. I've no clue. No frame of reference for that whatsoever. But yeah, but apparently, I'm not sure because I haven't actually played it, but apparently there is some exclusivity or some exclusive content to this version. I'm not sure, but there's like stuff you can do with the gamepad on this version that you can't do on the other versions of this game, even though this has come out for everything. There's stuff you can do on the gamepad that you can't do with this game. So, quite pleased about that. And the other one I bought on the buy 3 get 1 free deal was the Ico and Shadow of the Colossus collection, which I needed for PlayStation 3 because it's one I actually really, really want to play. And I'm annoyed because they've just announced they're redoing Shadow of the Colossus for PS4. So, and this was, what was this? This was $14.99. So probably for 20 quid I could get this one on the PlayStation 4 in a couple of months' time, whenever they get around to releasing it. So here's one that I found on this was at CEX, and I just happened to be looking for it online, and I realised that my local CEX actually had it in stock, so I went down there and bought it the next day, and this was £6. So Tearaway Unfolded, and it's basically an origami version of Little Big Planet. I do like the art on the disc though, with the big fucking Stanley knife there. That is pretty harsh for a game aimed at 7-year-olds. So yeah, as usual with a lot of these things, PlayStation 4, you don't get a manual at all, which is annoying because I like manuals. I like knowing things about the games I'm playing, even if I might never get around to playing them because the list is mounting up. Need for Speed Carbon. This is another one that I needed for review, and I just happened to find it for cheap enough. Now, if I can be after finding how much I paid for it, I will tell you. I found that on eBay for £8.98. Now, normally this is another one that goes for... A lot of the early release PlayStation games seem to be going for quite a lot of money recently. Now, I have seen this go for nearly £20 on eBay, so I thought £8.98 wasn't too bad. And again, the manual's not in the best condition. There's a big... fold in it, but the disc looks fine, and in fact it does play fine because I have already played this. So that's that. Tony Hawk's Project 8, this is another one I had to buy to review. I'm not sure if I'm keeping it, but I have it, and as you can see, it's been through numerous hands. It's obviously been through a pre-owned program at some point. It's probably been to a charity shop at some point, because charity shops tend to be the ones that write in marker pen all over everything. So I would imagine that's probably Oxfam, because they are the worst for doing that. They will marker pen everything that comes into that fucking shop. Literally go to Oxfam and half of the stuff you will buy has been marker penned all over by them little old ladies. So I would imagine it's probably them. But I don't know. I actually bought it from Tony Hawk's Project 8. I bought that from CEX. And if you remember my previous video where in fact, it wasn't a pickups video, it was one I did separately for the email change of stuff that was going on for a fictional company that I invented that might not really exist. That was in order to try and get this game, but I eventually got it from a company that may or may not be the one I was talking about. So I had a little bit of a splurge on I think it was Amazon. Certainly looks like it might have been Amazon, but I can't find where I've written it down, as usual, because I've put everything in the wrong order. No, I'll do the Argos one first. In fact, there should be two Argos ones here. I seem to be missing one. No, I won't. No, this is stuff I've bought new from Argos. So, yep, there's the Argos sticker on the back. And this is this is the Darksiders War Mastered Edition. This is a brand new release for the Nintendo Wii. I know the actual console has been discontinued, but there are apparently still releases being trickled out for it, and this is one of them. And I got this, the cheapest I could find it. I got this day of release, by the way. I pre-ordered it. And the cheapest pre-order I could find was from Argos, and that was $14.99 delivered. So I think for Darksiders, that's not too bad. Bearing in mind this is also not just the standard version, but some sort of Wii U special edition. So let's see what the special edition entails. Just stuff, really. So HD resolution and 60 frames per second. I don't know if that's an exclusive feature, but there's some gamepad stuff going on that you can do. A really, really shitty manual, as usual with modern games, and the disc, which I imagine is probably the definitive edition of things. I can't imagine there's going to be much DLC released for this because it's on the Wii. The other thing I bought from Argos, I actually ordered this off their website. This is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, but this is the PlayStation 3 version. Now, again, on eBay, a very expensive game, usually. Even second-hand, a reasonably expensive game. This came from Argos, and it cost me $11.99. I think it was cheaper than that the day before, but by the time I got there, it had gone back up to its original price. But even like retail game shops don't have this game. They just don't have it in. In fact, a lot of them never got it in the first place. But I am to buy it on the Argos website, and I got them to send it to store. And I thought, well, there's no point in me waiting days for it. They can send it to the store within one day from one of their warehouse places, because usually what happens is by the time they process an order and actually get it sent to you, normally it's 2 or 3 days, but if you get it sent to store, for some reason they can do it the next day. I don't know why they can't do that with posting it, but there you go. It's probably a hold up with Royal Mail or something like that more than Argos itself, I have to say, probably. But anyway, I went in the store to pick it up, and they wouldn't give it to me. Because to the lady working in Argos, I was buying an 18 game, and apparently don't look 18. In fact, not even don't look 18, look 17. So yeah, she couldn't sell it to me until I went back there the next day with my passport and was able to buy it. Despite my telling the woman, I'm quite clearly, what they do is they have this thing called Challenge 25, and their argument is if you look under 25, we will ask you for ID. Now, you could probably argue the point, yes or no. I know, obviously, maybe the camera isn't doing me justice, but you could argue the point that maybe I don't look 25, even though I clearly look much older than 25. But you could never argue the point that I look 17. I mean, that is unreasonable. It is unreasonable to point at me and say, you are less than 18 years old. Even though this thing that you have is 25, this number here says 18. Right? So, if you challenge somebody who is 24, they are still old enough to buy this game. I don't see where this 25 thing has come. It seems to have been dreamed up by shops. I don't know why. Just to annoy people, I think. Because, to be honest, the person selling it isn't really liable anyway. It doesn't even go to court. Anyway. Let's see what we get. But I just thought it was funny, and I had to go in. Literally, it was so embarrassing because it was people behind me that were just, they're witnessing this and going, "You what?" I mean, it was really embarrassing. I had to go in the shop next day with my passport and go, "Please, sir, or please, missus, can I have it? I am 35 years old. It's ridiculous." Anyway. So you get the pretty much the same stuff that came with the original San Andreas, although the manual isn't very thick. There's a poster in here, double-sided poster, and the game disc, as you would expect. But this is basically the PS3 version of the original San Andreas. So that's that. So. I did a little bit of an online shop, 2 little online shops, and I will... Actually, one of the things I was going to... because it's down here, that's why. One of the things I was going to show you, I was going to leave to the end, but because I bought them at the same time, I won't do that. I went on to the CEX website, and there's a couple of things that I go on almost daily to see if they've got them in stock, because there's stuff... They do, from time to time, they take in slightly rarer stuff. And I basically have a wish list of stuff, and I will spend an hour, maybe an hour and a half, maybe 3 times a week, just going on various websites, seeing if they've got stuff in stock. Not including eBay, because eBay wants silly money for most things. So I'm not on there every other day, but on the CEX website and the game website and things like that, I generally am. And this one came up. Now, I'll warn you, it's not in the best nick, but it's also not a game you see every day. And this is Unlimited World Red. This is probably the second most expensive game I've bought recently. Now, the cover looks like it's got some sort of water damage. Obviously it's dry now, but it doesn't look like it's been stored in the best condition. But the manual is here. The little VIP thing that you get in here, which I'm not going to show the front of it because it's got a secret code on it, is here, and the disc is here. Now, I don't know what the story is behind this game. From what I understand, there was some licensing issue with the game that wasn't picked up initially, so it made it to store shelves, and about a week later it was pulled from retail store shelves. So this, certainly the British version of this, the English version of this, is a rarity, apparently because of that. But like I say, I don't know if that is the story. It seems to have been another issue with the Japanese language that's included. They didn't get... they got and this includes all the DLCs as well on disc. But they apparently didn't get the licensing for all the Japanese voices in this game. This is why it was pulled. But they didn't realise they didn't have the licensing for the UK up until it had already been on store shelves. But I'll just say I had to buy this on CEX because they just so happened to have it in stock, and as soon as I saw that, I had to push the button because you never, ever, ever see this game. Other than, well, you do see it on eBay, but generally it goes for a lot more. So I paid £50.84 for this delivered. So I can't sniff at that because it's like a one-time purchase, and it's one of them games because of the supposed story behind it. If I ever want to get my 50 quid back, I can just put it on eBay myself. Probably get 60 quid for it, to be perfectly honest with you. Although possibly not in this condition. So I don't know. I might lose money actually selling this now. But if I wanted it, I've got it, and I don't have to worry about it. And yeah. So just if you are collecting Wii U, this is probably one you want to go for quite soon, because these, I dare say, these are going to jump up in price, especially as people starting to be getting into Wii U collecting on a silly level. This one will probably go up in price. At the same time, I bought Tesla Grad. It's not a particularly rare game, but you don't see it every day. And this is another Wii U. I don't think it's an exclusive. I think it was on the download stores, but I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into it. I haven't really played it, but apparently it's a pretty good game. So there you are. Tesla Grad on the Wii U I bought at the same time, and that came to $18.83 including delivery. So I wasn't too fussed about that. Another Wii U game that I bought. This one was off eBay. If I could be after that. Oh yeah. Art Academy Atelier. This is another one. You do not see this every day. This is just a drawing program for the Wii. What annoyed me though is that I bought this on eBay and it was advertised as new. It came in exactly this condition. It wasn't sealed or anything. It has clearly been opened and used because the disc has fingerprints on it. So this is not new. The thing is, you can't really leave negative feedback on eBay anymore because it's such a hassle, and then the sellers start to leave you negative feedback, and it just becomes a pain in the arse. You get a load of shitty emails, and I can't be bothered dealing with it. So I just haven't left any feedback at all because I can't. eBay has made it so difficult to leave negative feedback now that it just makes a mockery of the whole system. So I didn't bother leaving feedback, but it was described as new and it was not new, which did annoy me. But saying that, I still got it for less than the I still got it for, well, it was actually just about right for the second hand price. So I paid $13.31 for that delivered, which probably I would have got a better deal had I bought it later on in that CEX order, because they did have it for about that price, and in fact like about £1 less than that price, and I wouldn't have had to pay so much shipping on it, because I think £2 of that was the shipping, so that annoyed me. Right, what to do next? Another Wii U game while I'm doing them. Mighty Number 9. Now, I know everyone's going to groan, and I don't care. I don't have Mighty Number 9, and I thought, well, it's sort of Mega Man, isn't it? It's not really Mega Man. I know it's not really Mega Man, but it's supposed to be. And I thought, well, I want that on a Nintendo console, really. So I bought it on the Wii U, and it was in game. How much did I pay for it? Let's have a look. $9.99 in game. That was Mighty Number 9 for $9.99. That's what I paid. And the thing is, this was marked up as a pre-owned, but I don't think it is, because the books here, the art cards are here, because I'll just show you. I'll get the receipt out of the way. There's like a load of. There's a couple of art cards, there's a poster, there's a booklet, and I don't think this was pre-owned at all. I think this was a new game that basically they'd just taken the cover off, because that disc is honestly, I'm looking at that disc and I'm going, that's never even seen the light of day, that side of the disc, let alone been played. It just hasn't happened. So yeah, 10 quid for Mighty Number 9. So I feel a lot better about, even though I know already this is not as good a game as it was supposed to be. I don't really care, because I just thought, oh, well, I'm going to have to buy it at some point, and I want to have it on a Nintendo system just for the sake of nostalgia, I suppose. So yeah. Another game I found, which is a PlayStation 3 game, and this is one I had to buy new because it's only just come out, and it's the last in a series for the PlayStation 3. This is BlazBlue Central Fiction. So this is probably going to be one of the last games out for the PlayStation 3. Although you never know, stuff is still appearing here and there. So I'm just going to undo this. Now, I have all the rest of the BlazBlue games that are on the PlayStation 3, and I have a couple of them on Standard Edition, and all the rest of them are on Special Edition, but I don't think the PlayStation 3 is getting the Special Edition of this one because the PlayStation 4 got it instead. So I've had to put up with having only the Standard Edition, I'm afraid. So it's it doesn't come with an art book or anything like that. In fact, the manual, the front cover of the manual I've just seen is in black and white, but at least it has a manual, so it's still doing better than most PlayStation 3 games. Or a lot of them, actually, a lot of the late release ones. And yeah, obviously, as a brand new game, brand new disc, and that was where is it? I've lost it. No, I got this off eBay for $7.95, new. That included shipping. So, I mean, how the fuck can you go wrong? Really, you can't. So yeah, I really do look forward to playing it, because this is the last BlazBlue game on the PlayStation 3. This should be the best one, really. So there you go. The next things I've got to show are PlayStation 4 games now. Stardew Valley Collector's Edition. I got that on eBay for £13, which is £4 cheaper than the cheapest shop I've seen it in. And again, this is brand new, so if I just be after breaking the seal here, say I should have kept some fingernails. There we go. So just tear off the PS4 tear strip like that and get stuff everywhere. There's a lot of plastic building up here now. So yeah, Stardew Valley Collector's Edition, and this includes the Pelican Town map, the mini guidebook, and Stardew Valley. Oh, a soundtrack! Oops! Help! Everything's going wrong. Oh no! There's carpet on my disc. Yeah. So CD there. Christ, it's all packed in here, isn't it? So yeah, mini guidebook. That's nice. Look, nice. Look, nice little drawings of fruit and things like that. So this is basically like PlayStation Farmville, I suppose, like Harvest Moon type stuff. Cute little map as well. Brilliant. So this is how games should be done. Look, a CD soundtrack, right? 13 quid I paid for that. This is how games should be done. Limited run. You know, this is how indie games should be done. With all this stuff, 13 quid. You seriously telling me limited run can't do Darius? A £60 game, effectively. More if you bought the special edition, and you couldn't include a soundtrack with it, or a manual, or anything like that. Bullshit if Stardew Valley can be out. And alright, it may not be as good a game, but 13 quid and you get all that kit with it. I mean, Christ, don't tell me you can't afford to do that. It's nonsense. It's shilling is what it is. Anyway, aside from that, 2 more Amazon purchases this time. Chromia, which I'm given to understand is a fantastic shoot 'em up. So yeah, while we're on the subject of Darius, Chromie is apparently better. That came from, I know that came from Amazon because I bought these two at the same time. This was £8 and 2p. Because it turned up on my recommended. Is basically the only reason I bought it. It was on my wish list. It wasn't a priority. It turned up on the recommended, £8 and 2p, including delivery. Fuck it, why not? So I've bought that. So let's see what I got for my money. Although for £8 and 2p, I am expecting, yes, it's just the game, but I don't care because £8 and 2p for a PlayStation 4 game, even if it's crap, I don't care. And then the other one I got on Amazon was this one, Goat Simulator the bundle. Again, this is new, that was new, all these new games, lovely, lovely. And this is Goat Simulator the bundle. Now, if you've seen this game, it looks like an absolute hoot. It really, really does. You basically play as a goat. And that's it. That's the whole premise of the game. But this is the bundle version. This is the bundle version for the PlayStation 4, and it comes with Goat Simulator and Goats and MMO Simulator. And yeah, you can play as Devil Goat, and all the DLC add-ons are on this disc. And yeah, you basically just get the game. But I had to buy it. When I saw it come up, this was another one that was on Amazon, recommended, I think. And I saw it come up, and I thought, oh, I've got to. I can't not. This was $14.41, including postage, so that's pretty good. I'm quite pleased with that. One I found the other day when I walked into Game was Doom on the PlayStation 4, and I said to the guy, this was £9.99. This is the UAC pack. This is the one that was originally going for 50 quid. This is reduced to £9.99. Largely, I suspect, because they've just announced Doom VFR, which will more than likely be on PlayStation 4 VR. So they've reduced the copies of the original game. And again, this is new and sealed. This was a tenner. And it's Doom. I mean, a special edition version of Doom for a tenner, how can you possibly complain? You can't. So let's see if we can get into this, and I will show you what it contains. Oh, look, the game's sealed as well. Whoop. Right, okay. Ah, cool. What's that? Ah, look. So you've got little patches here, which you can put on stuff, I expect. There's a poster of some sort, which I'm not going to bother unfolding. There's a UAC handbook, so there you are, big book of stuff. And then there's the game itself, which, because of all that, I'm not expecting there to be a manual in here. But you never know. You never know. Sometimes these people can surprise you. I wish I had fingernails so I could get into these bloody things, but I don't, so I find it quite difficult. You git. Look, it's all bunched up here, and I can't get the thing open. There we go. So yeah, Doom. Oh, bloody hell. It's got an instruction book. It's got a season pass for 3 multiplayer DLC packs. And it tells you about them as well. So, in fact, this is, for a tenner, I'm really, really pleased with this. It's even got a reversible cover. Would you believe? All that for a tenner. That is amazing. So, in fact, this was the beginning of this week I bought it. So if you get down to your local Game now, they might actually have this deal on. So if you didn't buy Doom when it originally came out, I advise you to do it because it looks like you get quite a lot for your money here. I'm just going to try and carefully put all this away without damaging anything, especially these patches, because they don't seem very robust at all. I can't imagine you put them on a jacket or something like that, but there you go. You can, I suppose. And am I getting towards the final? Yes, I am. I'm getting towards the final retail game, and I've saved the final retail game till last. Now, this is one I bought right at the beginning, and I just so happened to be walking past CEX, my local one, and this is another one I usually look for on the website because, you know, when they get it in. But it's one that, even though it's on my wish list and I do look on the website for it, I'm reluctant to buy without seeing. And I'll explain to you why in a minute. So basically, this game I'm about to show you was sat in the window of my local CEX, and it was going for £60 on the button. So £60. But I had to say to the guy, I went in and I said, that game you've got in the window, can I see it? Can I see what's in it? And in what condition it's in? He said, yeah, sure. Brings it across, and I decided to buy it. So this is a £60 game. It's Project Zero, Maiden of Blackwater on the Wii. Now, the external cardboard is in pretty good shape. So let's just open up and see what we've got here. We've got the game, obviously, in the box. Now, I'm given to understand it doesn't actually come with a manual, so that's fine. It comes with a disc that, again, has never been used. It comes with a steelbook. Now, this is not the best condition that I've seen a steelbook in, because there's a few light scratches up here, as you can see, but the back of it's got nothing on it at all. It comes with the art book, which looks like it's never been cracked open. I mean, honestly, you've got some really, really pretty art here. Well, in fact, it has been cracked open because I obviously looked through all this in the shop and have since done as well a couple of times. And this bit, honestly, there's a poster and art cards in here that have never been out of this plastic. You know, you can even see the difference in well, maybe the camera's not going to do it justice, but you can even see the difference where this has basically sat in the plastic for about a year, 2 years. You can see where the plastic is actually discoloured slightly from where the stuff is sitting. But it's in brilliant nick, and I thought, how often do you see one for sale in a second-hand shop in this condition? You don't, is the answer, basically. So I'm just going to very, very carefully put this back. But this is definitely, this is like, at the moment, this is the holy grail of Wii collecting, is this special edition of Project Zero. And now it's another thing that I don't have to worry about. Sorry, Wii U collecting. This, if you see it in this condition, for 60 quid, for that price, buy it, because you will probably never see another one in real life. And I'm going to put it back in the little CEX bag, which I got for free. Usually they're meant to charge you 5p for the bag. He just put it in a bag and gave it to me. He's obviously not worried about saving the environment, and, you know, good for him. Right, so only a few more things to go through. Oh, this is becoming a very, very long video. Excuse me. Oh, hello, moth. Right. So, another thing I want to mention is I got a couple of things, another couple of freebies. Well, not really freebies, because I got them as trade. Because I had a arcade machine basically that was unfinished. It was basically just the box with the joysticks in it and an iPad 2. I didn't have a monitor in it. I didn't have a PC to run anything. It was basically a project that I let lapse. So I put it up for sale on one of the arcade. Well, one of the emulator-based selling sites, and some guy made me an offer. I was looking for 150 quid for the thing, and he made me an offer of 100 quid in cash and and 3 Super Nintendo games. So I took it. And the Super Nintendo games I requested from him were Super Mario World, Super Mario All-Stars. Now, he did show me pictures of it, so I knew I was getting a faded label version. I didn't care. I just want to play the game on the actual hardware. And F-Zero. Now, I know none of these games are rare, but I thought, you know what? If the guy's going to drive 200 miles down here, pick up the machine, offer me 100 quid in cash and a couple of Super Nintendo games for something that I'm not going to finish and I don't really want, then fine, I'll take it. So I did, and I've got 3 Super Nintendo games for free. Not really proper pickups because they're trade, but oh well, that's how it works. Another Super Nintendo game that I actually bought, no, I can't see where, I haven't actually written this down. Oh my, what happened? But yeah, Clock. This is a pretty good platformer for the Super Nintendo. It's pretty cheap, so I would advise you to go and buy it before anyone realises how good it is and the price goes up. But you've never heard of it, so go and buy it and have a great time. But that doesn't seem to be on my list. So it's obviously one I've bought. So I don't even know how much I paid for it, but it wasn't much. I think it was about 5 or 6 quid, something like that. So Plock. Go buy Plock. Now, you may have seen a couple of weeks ago, or probably 2 weeks ago now, I did a video on whether Game UK, that's the store and website, were doing deals on Wii U stuff, basically throwing their Wii U stuff out the door. Now, I've got a couple of things which I did get deals on, some things better than others. But yeah, I've been in there pretty much every day for the last 2.5 weeks, and I haven't got... Basically, when a sticker goes on something, I've been buying it, provided it's a good enough deal. And I haven't got amazing deals, but according to the fellas that work in my local game, not the manager because he's not very good, but the lads that are in there every day serving the customers, they are adamant that sooner or later everything is going to be stickered, but they're not doing it all at the one time. They're doing it day by day as to what basically the till tells them to do that day when they get there to open the store. So it basically, their advice to me was just come in every day, because we don't know the day before, we can't tell you. Just come in, and if something's stickered, we'll point it out, sort of thing, because they know now that I'm looking for Wii U stuff, but I will only buy it if it's stickered and fine. So the first thing I got a deal on was this. This is the Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, and again, I know it's shit, but it was basically another one. It was stickered up as pre-owned, but it wasn't. It was brand new. The game in here is missing. No, there it is at the side. Right, the game in here is still sealed. See, still sealed, and I'm not going to bother unsealing it because I'm probably not even going to play it. But this was a £5. So that's the sealed game. The Amiibo cards that are meant to be in here as well. The box that's completely undamaged and fine. And the 2 Amiibo statues that are only available, or only available new. I mean, you can buy them second hand, but only available in this box set. They're not available separately, officially. So yeah. There's basically everything you need to play the game. Now, I have seen I have seen the game itself go for second hand for more than a £5 without the amiibos and not in the box. Not anymore. It's less than that now. It's about £3 for the game on its own, second hand with no amiibos. So a £5 for the complete box set, absolutely split new, I didn't think was a bad deal. The other deal I found, again, this is all walking into the local game. When I can see how much I paid for it. Right, this is another one that was £4.99. It's Super Mario 3D World. Now, it is the Nintendo Selects version. The Blue Label version, which is the first version, has not been reduced as yet. But if that also goes down to £4.99, I will probably buy that as well. Because this one is considered a variant, whereas obviously the Blue Label version is the original. And this was actually pre-owned as well. So this but it has the manuals and the eShop demo thing, and it doesn't actually have a manual, but it has the Wii U, be careful sort of thing on it. But even though this is a pre-owned, the disc hasn't got any fingerprints on it or anything. So yeah, that was on a deal. That was a £5. So brilliant. No, the best deal, the best deal I've got. And people don't believe me because I've put this on the Wii U forum, and at least half the people that are on it don't believe me. But I've left the stickers on, and I'm not joking. This is what was faced with me when I went into my local game 2 weeks ago. This is the best deal I've had so far. I don't know if I will get another one. I'm basically waiting for the day when I go in and Breath of the Wild is on this deal. So as you can see, it was originally $49.99. It was reduced to 99p. 99%. That is a penny short of £1. So basically that's a saving of £49. Allegedly a saving of £49. But there you go. And if you still don't believe me, I'm going to just cover up my loyalty number here. There is the receipt, and as you can see, I gave the guy a £5 and I got £4.01 change. So yeah, I'm keeping that receipt in here, and I'm keeping the stickers on the box. The one thing I'm not sure about, I don't know if it's supposed to come with a manual. I'm pretty sure the special edition version does, but they didn't. I'm not going to get the special edition version on this kind of deal. But I don't think the standard version does come with a manual. If it does, can somebody let me know, because I haven't got one. So that might be an extra cost. But to be perfectly honest, if it's supposed to come with a manual and it doesn't, I mean, I paid £1 for it. In fact, I didn't even pay £1. I paid less than £1 for supposedly one of the best games on the console, and one that people are trying to get hold of frantically. So this is honestly, I think, the best deal of the whole lot, to be fair. But anyway, a couple of other things. Because I bought the Animal Crossing thing, I thought maybe I'll get some amiibo cards to go with it. Yes, I know, before anyone mentioned it, I know it's a shit game, but that's not what necessarily collecting's about. No, I found this on eBay, and this was £6.82. But it was described as used. As you can see, this is new. So £6.82, and again, all my prices include delivery. I thought that's not too bad. So I've got a collector's album for some amiibo cards if I decide to get them, or I might not. I might just get rid of the album. But I've got it in case I want it at some point in the future, if some cards come my way that I can use to play the amiibo game with. Talking of books, I found this in my local The Works, which is basically a discount book retailer on most high streets in Britain. And this was £7. So what this basically is like a little. It's basically a little compilation of Nintendo Power magazines from the 90s. It's not anything amazing. It's mostly, in fact, it's all first-party titles that you can see there. But this was, when it was released, was supposedly a £20 book. I got it for £7, and it's brand new. It's basically just discounted for whatever reason. So yeah, 13 quid off a book that I don't already have. So I was chuffed with that. So now we come on to the last bit of the pickups video, the expensive bit, the hardware. Now, normally I don't mind spending a bit of cash. I'm generally pretty frugal, unless it's rarer stuff. I'm generally pretty frugal with the amount of money I spend on actual games. But when it comes to hardware, I like to get them, if possible, new. If not possible, then in really, really good nick. So the first new hardware I've bought for myself, and no groaning when I show you, because whatever you think you know about this piece of hardware, most of it's probably true, some of it is not. And this is the PlayStation TV. Now, this is basically unused. I bought this off a guy on eBay. It cost me £30.99 including delivery, which is about right. Had this been, all opened and the box is ripped and bits are missing, but this is complete, and I've already checked it. Everything is here. Even there are download codes included for 3 PS Vita games, and they are in here unused. So there you go. Now, I may do a video on this at some point, but I'll just give you the brief statistics. What this basically does, don't confuse this with Play TV for the PlayStation 3, which is a different thing entirely. That's basically a TV tuner for your PlayStation, which no longer works in Britain because it doesn't pick up digital signals properly. So don't get that confused with it. What this basically is a streaming box for your PlayStation 4. On the face of it, that's what it would appear to be. Now, it doesn't come with a controller, so you do need either a PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4 controller to use this. But what it does do, which isn't really advertised very well, I'll be honest with you, Sony, you could have advertised this better. What this does is this plays Vita games. Not just the downloadable ones, but actual Vita cartridges. The Vita cards. The drawback is that you do need one of them ridiculously expensive Sony Vita memory cards in order to fit anything on the thing. But it does do that. It doesn't do the entire Vita library, I have to say. And you will get the most out of this with a DualShock 4 rather than a DualShock 3, because it uses the touchpad on the DualShock 4 for quite a lot of games. But it does do some of the stuff, and it does do most of the popular stuff. It does do. So basically anything that got a PS3 or PS4 port as well, this will more than likely play it. I am at the moment compiling a definitive list of stuff that I know definitely works with this, so I probably will do a video on it at some point, but I've bought one though, so I will be able to use it. And it's basically a Vita that plugs into your TV, but with the added bonus that it also does streaming from your PlayStation 4. Although obviously it doesn't do it in, if you have a PlayStation 4 Pro, it doesn't do all HDR and things like that. But yeah, so pretty good. pretty good investment, I think. Also, the other thing is apparently these can be jailbroken. You can use them to play loads of emulators as well. So that might be interesting. So if you were thinking, oh, maybe I should get one of them Raspberry Pi machines and then I can load up all my own games. Well, yeah, you could do that. Or maybe you could do it with one of these and use a quality controller to play them. But there you are. So this might be a thing. So you may remember a couple of pickups videos ago, I proudly proclaimed that I had joined console generation 8 by holding aloft my magical Wii U. The thing is, while I've been in the game shop pretty much every day for the last 2.5 weeks, I realised they were doing what Sony were actually calling was a Days of Play sale. What this meant is on all PlayStation stuff they were doing some pretty good deals. Now, unfortunately, games wise, not a lot fantastic. This was basically a hardware sale. This was shifting units and not an awful lot else. But there were a couple of good bundles. Unfortunately, the bundle that I wanted, they didn't have in store. And while it was on their website, when you actually went to order it, it said stock not available. Even though if you did a search and checked the box that said don't show me things that are out of stock, it still came up. But when you actually went to order it, it would say stock not available. So bad luck. So I actually ended up getting this bundle off Amazon for the same price because I thought it was a game store promotion when it turned out it was actually a Sony promotion. So I managed to get this bundle on Amazon for the same price. And when I said a few pickups videos ago I have joined the 8th generation, well, I'm proud to announce that I have now joined generation 8.5. I have gone and bought myself a 1TB PlayStation 4 Pro. So I'll just put this here. The bundle deal I got was basically I could buy the console for 349 quid, or I could buy the console with Horizon Zero Dawn and Wipeout Omega Collection for 349 quid. So obviously I bought the one that came with the two games. So that's PlayStation 4 1TB Pro version, Horizon Zero Dawn and Wipeout Omega Collection. I am really looking forward to playing this, and I am really looking forward to playing this. So absolutely brilliant. That's me joined generation 8.5. And as this is brand new, I don't need to open it and check what's in it because it'll all be there. Also, because it's from Amazon, you've got that. And I bought from Amazon Direct. I did not buy from a reseller. So that watertight guarantee, really, if anything goes wrong. They're pretty good with that sort of thing. But like I say, the actual shop and the website were part of this Sony participation. And I thought, well, see, the thing is, I'd already started up saving some money because I knew that I was going for the PlayStation 4 Pro, so I had the money already sat there. But what with me managing to sell the arcade cabinet that I didn't want, and also I got a bit of a windfall from some money came in that I wasn't expecting, something else happened. Because of that, the other thing that happened was this. PlayStation VR, which I also bought during the Days of Play sale. Because normally this on its own, because Britain didn't get the magic bundle deal that everyone else managed to get, where you could buy the box and it had the camera, a couple of Move controllers and a game in there. Normally this on its own is $349.99 just for the headset. But during the Days of Play sale, I got, for my $349, I got the headset. I got the PlayStation Camera version 2, And I got, if I bring them over, 3 games. Farpoint, PlayStation VR Worlds, and Eagle Flight. Now, I know this isn't the best of the best. I would have quite liked the Star Trek game, which I probably will buy at some point, or the Batman one that's advertised on the side of the box. But that's what I got. That was my 349 quid there. So not only have I managed in basically the same week to join the Generation 8.5, but I've also managed to go completely VR, and my Move controllers are upstairs charging as we speak, so that I can have a go on this when the weather gets a bit more clement next week, and I won't have to worry about sweating over it too much. So yeah, this here, and I know lots of people think this is gimmicky, but I'm sorry, I really am. Maybe I'm a sucker for gimmicks, but I really want to play VR. That's a thing. I need to be a part of that. I don't really care what anyone says about it. But that's it. The last 2 things that I've showed you have basically been half of my spend on games in 2 months. But it's very much a one-off. And yeah, my goodness, this has been a long video, hasn't it? So I think we're probably running towards the what are we getting to now? Like the hour and 3/4 mark now. So I probably is a good time to end it. So I'll just move this out of the way a bit. But yeah, I am utterly chuffed with what I've managed to get. Now, some of the stuff I might not be keeping. Certainly a couple of the PlayStation 3 titles that I've bought specifically to review, I might not be keeping. But everything else I am pretty happy with. I don't really think there's been many wasted pounds the last couple of months. Honestly, pretty much everything I have bought is stuff that for one reason or another I want. There hasn't really been anything I've picked up specifically because it's there. I mean, quite a lot of the stuff has been on my wish list anyway. So I am absolutely chuffed, and like I say, I may well have to stop buying games for a few weeks purely because I have now got so much to actually get through. No, I'm not sure if I'll plan on doing any video content around VR purely because it is difficult to capture that experience with the equipment I've got. It can't really be done very well, so I might not bother with that. But I might, now that I've got a PlayStation 4, I might be able to review some stuff. I don't know, or maybe I'll review some of the limited run stuff. I'm not sure what I'll do. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. It's certainly been a time commitment because all this stuff's going to have to go back upstairs now. If you can imagine what it was like, just watching it, going through it all. Imagine what it's like when I have to drag all this stuff back upstairs. Considering as well that it's now 2:20 in the morning and I shouldn't make any noise. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the stuff. And again, I say this every video now. I do look for the comments. I'm really pleased to receive them. There's one guy who's, because it's late and because I haven't got access to YouTube at the moment, whose name actually escapes me, but he's been following my stuff and he's been really nice on most of the comments. So if you see that guy, you could give his comment a thumbs up or something. I can't remember his name offhand, but not everyone's nice in the comments. Lots of people are quite rude, but this guy's been really good and he's commented on quite a few of my videos. Anyway, but no, I do look forward to hearing the comments. So yeah, you can leave some comments. Let me know what you think of the pickups. I mean, I know obviously I've gone a bit mad spend-wise this month, but I thought while it's there, I'm going to buy this stuff at some point. I may as well do it while I'm not too worried about where the next pair of pants is coming from. In a couple of months' time, it may be that my pickups video is like 10 minutes long because I've picked up 5 things because I've, other stuff's come up. But for the moment, I should be okay. So I've managed to go, right, well, I can do it now. But anyway, so yeah, comments, questions, even suggestions are more than helpful. Unless the suggestions is, you can stick your Tony Hawk's game up your arse or something like that. I'm not interested in all that. But yeah, so any constructive comments, any well constructed arguments will always be well received. So yeah, there's Twitter here, there's comments down here, there's perhaps some other videos you might like that have just appeared here, and there's a subscribe button here if you want to see some more of my content, which I hope you do. And if you watch the beginning of the video, you'll know there's more coming. But until that point, until I see you then, thanks for watching.